Hi, I'm Liam with the Holyoke Tarot, and today we have a pick a card reading for Earth signs. So that's our Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus for April 2026. Yeah, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So our piles are our true craft. Is it true craft or true heart? I think it's true heart deck. Little piece of sea glass. Our infinite door deck, which is this one. It's a little bone. And the modern witch deck. An acorn as the symbol. So feel free to pause here and pick a pile or watch the whole thing and see what resonates. All right, let's get into it. It is a dark, stormy day for me. Just windy though. No rain, unfortunately. I wish it rained. Pile 1 for our Earth signs. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Sun, Moon, and Rising. What messages do we have for today? What messages do we have for today? What messages do we have for today? Moving my whole desk. All right, any more cards? I've been starting with the same deck each time because it's like the one I'm most familiar with. Those specific actual cards, you know. And so I feel like things come to me very easily with those ones. But I have a lot of Earth signs, so I thought it would be okay to wade out in the open ocean with different decks to start with. All right, I think we got 4. Is that it? This one? Okay. 10 of Cups. I hope it was candle because it's smelling weird. It's making my brain feel funny. 7 of Swords. The Death card. 9 of Discs. And the Chariot. Yeah, this is kind of... So we're starting with the 10 of Cups, which is very like kumbaya, happy family. You're kind of like, you've reached a lot of the goals that you have been after. I'd say especially in your emotional life. And then there's some deceit here. So with the 7 of Swords, there's like the fox is there, his fingers are crossed. hiding I shouldn't say he, I guess. The fingers are crossed, and they're hiding those swords behind their back. And then, yeah, the foxes. So I think there's some trickery going on here. So I think these two cards together is maybe something that seemed really happy and like it was going really well is maybe there's going to be some shifts coming to that soon. Maybe some truths are going to come to light. Maybe there's some self-deception going on that you're going to recognize that maybe some things you wanted aren't what you actually want now. So that feels pretty intense and pretty heavy. But the good news is we have this death card, which is like a remaking of self and a death of yourself, not as in you're actually going to die, but more so as in there are aspects of you and parts of you that you're going to let go of, and you're going to allow certain aspects of you to die, and then you'll be reborn. And with this rebirth then comes the Nine of Pentacles. And there's been quite the journey to get to this 9. And this is feeling like the celebration, right? So this unmaking, if it's something that like you've probably seen coming, and I think fully releasing it, fully going through that death process, like you're just gonna like you're going to move very swiftly right into this Nine of Discs energy where you are remade. You're in jeez, why is this hard for me? You're remade, and you're in this beautiful bed of flowers and looking stunning and feeling much more true to yourself. And that all will happen with a lot of speed and clarity as you put these parts together. Part of the Chariot is building all the pieces of the Chariot. So as you're putting these parts together, being reborn, this all comes very swiftly. So yeah, a lot of change for this pile coming up in this month. Let's see what this Oracle card is for you, pile 1. Slow and steady wins the race, Turtle Spirit. That's funny with the Chariot. Also in the card, also in the reading. So it does feel like there's a little bit of an essence of like, don't rush it, for sure. Don't rush the death process. Let it unfold. Allow yourself to hold that void space, ultimately. That liminal space, I should say. And all right, pile 1 done. There's our sea glass pile. I'm going to collect some more things at some point in the future. I keep saying that. I need to just remember and actually do it. All right, next we have our bone, little bone, our infinite door deck. Oh goodness. shuffle them the regular way. I should try though. I think I've tried it before. It's a little tricky because they're big. Having a slight elbow injury, so that feels kind of difficult. From lifting, doing something wrong, obviously, to make my elbow hurt. Need to get that sorted. All right. Oh, both those? Okay. Oh, that's 3. All those? Okay, any more? All right, go with 5. Oh gosh, 6 apparently. Goodness gracious. 6 of Wands. 7 of Wands, sorry. 7 of Wands. 6 of Swords. Ace of Wands. The Hanged Man. The Star. That's a really cool star card. And the 10 of Wands. Okay. This feels pretty heavy, to be honest. April. Earth signs, pile 2 earth signs. I mean, you're definitely very capable, right? So I'll put that caveat, the first right here. You've definitely been, or you will be, kind of fighting something, right? Having to move through and past. Feels like quite the journey, to be honest with you. First, we have this path in the desert. You are wielding something, and you seem pretty confident facing down whatever this is. And then we have the 6 of Swords, which is carrying a lot with you through your journey. Maybe it's carrying yeah, it feels a lot of like letting go and releasing relationships that are no longer serving you, and not necessarily like cutting things out completely or cutting someone out of your life. I'm not saying that, but just acknowledging that maybe the way people have been showing up, or the way actually it feels more like you don't have to shrink yourself to be in relationship with these people. It's honestly actually what it feels like. Like you have the capacity to carry all of these things, to carry it all while you kind of face these people. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be people you... Why is that so stinking difficult for me? It doesn't necessarily have to be people that you... I think it's just people that you want to remain in relationship with. That's interesting too. These, I don't know if you can see it, but those are like hands holding each other. Yeah, and then we get to the Ace of Wands, and I think there is some heartbreak here. I think there is some you've shown up as yourself, and maybe not everyone's willing to accept you. And so there's a little bit of like needing to move forward. acknowledging that some of the people in your life won't be there anymore. Not in the same way that they have been. That doesn't mean you're never going to speak to them or anything, but it's just like, in order for you to move forward and really embrace yourself, then you're gonna have to let some things go. Yeah. And then we have the Hanged Man and the Star, and so the Hanged Man is asking you to this imagery is interesting because it's like you're not seeing the whole form, you're just seeing this foot, and so and it's a snake, even not a rope, so it feels like you're being tied up, like you're being you're allowing yourself to be tied up in these situations. And the Hanged Man is reminding you that, you can reach up and release yourself. And with the Star, then I think after you acknowledge these places where you need to come forward and, release these things, then you can move into the Star energy here, which is really just like going into the void space and trusting these shifts to happen, and trusting I want to say like your higher self, God, the universe, trusting them to help you as your path moves forward. That's not usually something that comes through for me. So that's interesting. And then ending with the Ten of Wands. So there's still a lot you're going to have to carry. Sorry to laugh. This is not like a super fun reading. Earth signs so far, it seems like there's kind of a lot of heaviness going on. But it also feels like there's a lot of support. There's a lot of universal support. And it also doesn't feel like things are working out for you, it's just like there's maybe some difficult things that you're gonna have to traverse too, and there's a lot of stuff you're gonna have to carry, and that's where you're at for the month. So sorry, pile 2, it's not like the most fun but yeah, you do have a lot of universal support, I would say, for sure. Spider spirit, make your dreams real. Yeah, for sure it could be like this part that you're kind of hiding or need to face down is accepting and acknowledging the dreams you want to pursue in front of people who maybe don't accept those parts of you. But it can also just be a reminder. All right, pile 2. That one was exactly 10 minutes. And our last deck is the Modern Witch with an Acorn. I think next month, don't quote me on this, but next month I'm going to try and get these out slightly earlier than the very last day of the month. But that's okay. Alright, we have our pile 3 water sign, not water sign, 3 earth signs. Sun, Moon, and Rising, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus for the month of April 2026. Okay, goodness gracious. All right. We have interesting, like I said, I got a bunch of these cards yesterday too. So the Hierophant, the Four of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the King of Swords. So we only got one Earth card in this whole reading. Let's see here. Sorry. I was up way later than normal last night. The Hierophant. So it does feel a little bit like in April, you're continuing or starting to pursue a spiritual path of some kind. And it's really going to be leading you into this Four of Cups energy. So I think there's going to be some realizations and some acknowledgement that there are maybe some delusions that you've been, maybe, let's not use the word delusions. Let's say projections. There's been a lot of projections that you have been accepting as truths that you, through this spiritual journey, are going to start to dismantle. And so there's definitely going to come a lot of this, like, don't give me any more cups. Like, just like, let it be, kind of like, you know. But I think the important part to know when going through an awakening journey is that there are, it's lots of like untangling and lots of groundlessness, and there's just hopefully there can be a persistence to just like keep moving through that and keep letting go and keep releasing and keep acknowledging what things are your perceptions. Even the fact that, like, I think you can even get to a sense where you are like, oh, they're projecting, but then you're also projecting. So I think, yeah, this is asking you to like call your awareness to that even you're doing the thing, right? So you're not absolved of having projections just because you're aware of it. And then moving into the Page of Swords, I think there's kind of a remaking. And it's not even a remaking, it's like a way through almost of creating clarity, right? And you're just at the very beginning of this, of unlocking the mind space, unlocking the thinking mind, and being aware of potentially what's on the other side of that. Yeah. And then we move into the Two of Wands. So there does seem to be a sense of like, it's kind of like expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction, moving through these states. The page is like kind of this being of the beginner mind, and then we have the Two of Wands, which feels sort of like for me, she kind of seems like she seems very like in charge, very in power, like she has her phone, so there feels like there's an element of like boss energy, you know. And it feels very like success, you know, but kind of like in a more worldly way, is how I'm reading it in this specific instance. So it feels like there's kind of like, yeah, there's this trajectory with your spiritual space where you are kind of unmaking all of these things, but then there's also an acknowledgement that in your like day-to-day life, there's a lot of success accessible to you. So that's a good reminder, basically, while as you're going through these awakenings, I guess is the word I'm using today, that like you're like it's hard to say because it feels like you are on this solid foundation, but I'm like, then that's also like maybe a little bit part of the delusion, maybe. So it's all like there is all this groundedness, ungroundedness, and then this sort of is like, okay, but you have this. So, and then yeah, moving into the King of Swords, which is kind of still this like mental energy. This is interesting. This is a little bit for me, I think, because of the like deep dive of like meditation and mind training I'm doing right now with a teacher. Anyway, so yeah, this feels a little bit like that. And so I honestly don't have a lot of clarity, but it does feel that there is, if this is resonating with anyone else, that I don't even want to say there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because there's no tunnel and there's no light. But like, it's fine, right? Like, it's fine, you know? You're in the clouds. It's all good. Yeah, sorry, that's not super clear, but that's also exactly the space that I'm in right now. So I might just be reading that. Let's see what the advice is. Peacock spirit, let it shine. What the heck does that? 46. Let's see. Okay. When is the last time you shook a tail feather? Excuse me. And shined your light for all to see. Within each of us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression. You are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are, for you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out from the shadows, peacock spirit says, and show your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own exquisiteness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force, energy, and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it shimmer, and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being here right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. I mean, that's a cool card. I'm not quite sure how it specifically applies to this reading, but I will also say that specifically I'm confused, which is okay. I think that's exactly where I personally am meant to be right at this moment, and maybe you other people that picked pile one are feeling the same. So yeah, happy April. Enjoy it. Have a wonderful month. Catch you on the next one.